Welcome to High Tea with Chantelle, elevated conversations with studio owners. Hello everyone, it's Chantelle, and today I'm going to be sitting down with a studio owner named Phi Nelson. She is one of our longest clients here at Studio Expansion, and her story is absolutely remarkable. Her journey to becoming a truly empowered studio owner, and the journey it took for her to kind of be able to lead her team to another level of success, allowing her complete freedom. She actually lives an hour away from her studio. She only goes in there once a week, and you're going to learn how she does it and the secrets to systemizing the experience, which has allowed her to do this. She's an absolute delight. You're going to love her. So be sure to pour yourself a cup of tea, put your feet up, and let's get started. Hello everyone, it is Chantelle here, and welcome to my very, very special guest, one of the longest ever people who've been involved with Studio Expansion, and one of my longest term clients, and a person who I just cherish and adore so much. This is Phi Nelson, and hello, she runs Vocalise, a music academy here in Sydney, and the other kind of very, very dear piece of my heart that you've given. So Phi has brought into my life her sister Michelle Hunter, who is our general manager here, and she's also brought into our team Zoe Ashton, who is our operations manager. It seems like all the people you love in your life come to work with me, and I'm very grateful because they are the most remarkable people, which says everything about you and who you are. So I'm grateful to you. So Miss Phi, do you want to tell us a little bit about your studio and kind of what you do at the moment in the business and where you're at?
Yeah, well, we provide music and performance classes for students, and we strive to inspire them through the power of music. So that's our values. And basically through the days when you have bad or good days, we kind of look at, okay, what are we doing? We're empowering people through music. Yeah. So
what does that mean on a daily basis? Like what's one way that you empower people through music, do you think?
I think it's giving them, one, the sense of community, like belonging where they are. So having someone step into the studio and feel like they're home. So that's one of the things that I guess with new students as well and parents, they get that sense of trust as soon as they walk through those doors. And I think that's how we've retained a lot of students, is maintaining that environment and having even the children wanting to be there. And you have two relationships with your students and your parents, and if you have that with the child, and that connection with their teacher and child, it's more so a big part of what the children loves to do, and having the parents support that.
So I think a lot of us spend a lot of time thinking about the relationship between the child and the teacher, right? Like, and the student and the teacher, let's put it that way. And how much time do you spend thinking about the experience, the what you're wanting to create in the relationship with the parent?
We spend a lot of time, I guess, looking at how the team see their role and what difference they make, and aligning that with our values. It all comes down to your values and how you share that with the team. Yeah. And having them empowered and feel invested and in making sure that happens. Because they're the face of the studio. At one point it was me, and it's easier because you know what you tell people. It's in your head and it just comes across naturally because it's your business. Yeah. So having the team step up and go, no, this is my business. Just having that thought of, okay, this is my student. This is the parent that I need to speak to, and empowering them to be able to speak like they own it.
Speak like they own it, like that ownership of, and the responsibility. That's really, like, how long would you say, like, for a new teacher who comes to work with you? I know you kind of grow a lot of yours up, like a lot of them, but like if you did have a new teacher come into your studio, how long do you think it would take for you to ingrain within them that level of confidence, really?
I would say, a lot of the teachers that come in, we go through an interviewing process, like, the one that you recommend. Yes. And it kind of weeds out a lot of the
lower hanging fruit, shall we say.
Yeah. So when they come in, I feel like, I don't know if I've been lucky, but we attract a lot of like-minded people. So even if they don't know the team, I find that when they do come in, we're all quite quirky. Like, we're a big team and we're all really quirky. So sometimes we don't connect straight away, but they feel like they're part of the team straight away. And I think that helps with their confidence in a new space. And they all teach differently. They have their own way of
Yes.
teaching. So being okay with that and being able to chat to each other about what they do is a really big part. And being comfortable to do that, it takes a whole energy within the group to create that when someone comes in.
It seems like you've really, like the culture is so established that when someone comes in, it feels like almost you don't have to do all the work because actually the group course corrects. Is that the feeling?
I think so. And it actually weeds them out too. Because if they feel like this is not the right place for me, you can feel it straight away. The team will tell me. So the team does so that's...
How easy is that? So easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's not easy.
Yeah.
Advice like that
to
is
tell
like...
them, you don't fit.
Yeah. So no. But like how lovely that there is such an identity. And what would you say, like for your studio, like what is the identity of your team?
I think it's someone who's just passionate about music. Someone who loves to share what they've learned. Someone who, a lot of our teachers actually don't do it full time. So, which is a common thing in our industry. They do it part time.
Yeah.
But having the teachers there who really care about what they do because it's something that they love, like I think that's what I find with our teachers that stay. Even they do one day, like I've got a teacher who's been with us for 9 years and he does 4 hours.
Wow, right.
So, and he's like part of the team.
Yeah.
And he attends every team meeting. And so it's I guess, so it's something that's really, I don't know, ingrained in who they are as a person and what they do. Because you can't teach someone that.
No. You really can't.
Yeah.
And that's when they are just who they are and it's a match, that's when it's just effortless.
Yeah.
Effortless.
And I think there was one Evolution member who said, I want you to tell me how I need to make your role as your most favourite part and most favourite job that you do.
What a beautiful question.
Yeah.
What a beautiful question. Well, what I find amazing about kind of watching your story over the last year or so, you've kind of expanded to 2 locations, and how you keep that culture as you've expanded. Because it's all very well, I think, when you've got your little home and your little hub and you're in your studio and everyone's there and you're very present and everyone knows each other, but then when you're trying to replicate that culture of a team, like that's a very, and sustaining the level of cohesion as you grow is not always easy. So how have you kind of gone about ensuring that the same feeling that you've got at your home location has translated across as you're starting the second one?
So I actually run those 2 classes.
You're right.
So it's 2 hours of teaching that I do on a Monday. And I've actually used it to put into play the new programs I put over there. So I teach it and then I go, okay, well that didn't work so well, or the kids love this.
Right.
And then I use this for the main location to say, okay, right, this is what we're doing.
Easy. So this is kind of almost like a little testing ground.
Yeah.
Have you got more flexibility to experiment?
Yes, yeah. And making sure that what I teach the guys in the other location is still practical and like real. Because you sit there and you just write and you go, oh, this is what I want done. But then actually going out there and doing it. Yeah. And times change, like children change and their needs change. So I think it keeps me real with what I'm teaching and what I ask the teachers to teach.
So, I mean, like even what you said about, the fact that you've moved away from your home location and now, so like how many minutes drive is it to get to your home location?
It's about an hour.
So how often in a week would you go there?
Once a week.
Once a week.
Yeah.
And what have you learned in that kind of process of not being, because you used to be there all the time. Like when I first met you, like you were in the studio. Yeah,
I was teaching a lot.
Oh,
it was 5-6 days a week. Yeah.
And that's a huge transformation to now. Are you teaching at the first location?
Yes, I'm actually doing my seniors. Yeah, I'm actually enjoying going back. So I'm doing 4 hours of teaching now, where I was doing nothing before. But this year has been the year where I go, you know what, I might just put my toe in and just see how
That's lovely. Because like it's I think for those of us who, like we're born teachers, right? Like I hope I always am teaching in some capacity. It fills our soul. But it's nice it's on your terms, I guess.
Yeah.
So you don't set foot in that studio very much. How?
How do I do that?
How do you do it?
I think it's the team. And I think that's the transition that I made with focusing on customers.
Yes.
how are we serving these customers? And it's like, man, how am I serving my teachers to serve these customers? So it went from customers to team, and that's all I focused on.
So you've made the team the core of your, how am I creating this experience? How am I giving them the support? And then knowing as a byproduct, that's going to...
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, it's a big part of the admin side of it, but being able to deliver that, and then the teachers sort of have... the teachers having the tools to create that experience for the students. That's something that a lot of them needed to learn, and it was a long time because it's how you speak, what you like, how much they need to know. So
it sounds like you're putting like, even like when you're saying like how they speak and how they, so you're very, it seems like you've got a really good grasp on like controlling what I need, like even like what I need them to know this but not this, and I need them to be like this but not like this, like that's very, you've choreographed the vibe, I suppose, of what your teachers represent. Not an easy thing to do.
But you know what, you gave me a really good PDF that I printed for every room. It was like all
did I?
It's all, well, it was all the words that aligned with our values.
Yeah.
Inspiring, courage. So that's up there. So when they speak to students and parents, they're using those words, and that's, you know, and without knowing it, even the students use those words as well.
So you're cloning, and because you're living like by example and you're kind of using them, and then like you've got the visual kind of prompts there in the room, like so you've kind of really, you're starting to get layers and layers of consistency happening. Because this is the interesting thing, like we talk about systems a lot, right? And I think a lot of people like systems feels like spreadsheets and software and da 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 da. It's actually I think it's so much more creative than that. It's like, I want my teachers to be talking this way because I know it's going to make people feel this way in the studio. So what's how am I going to curate that result is a system, right?
Yes, yeah.
And that's where it becomes really joyful, because to run a studio remotely, to live an hour away and know they're going there once a week, requires a hell of a lot of systems. So you must be very good at systems.
Well, it's not really systems. It's like, and I love how you create this with your Evolution members.
Yeah.
It's like you have these foundations, and then you can go away and see how that will work, or how you can achieve that with your simple, like, this is your guideline.
Yes.
You can do whatever you want, but this is your guideline. So I think it's that, for us, it's like, is it aligned with our values?
Yep.
Is it simple? And can anyone do this? And also with the teachers, like what we're talking about and what they do on a daily basis, is, are the students walking away happy? And have they learnt one thing from their class today?
And so that you keep it as simple as that. Are they walking away happy? And so once you've given your teachers that clarity of like really zeroing in on these, the two kind of criteria of every class, what have you seen shift in the business? Like whether from retention or kind of communication or just vibe, what have you seen change?
Well, I don't need to check in with my teachers as much. They basically take care of their own students, which is a big part of what we were doing back in the day. It was like we were all PAs to these teachers. It's like we had to do everything for them.
Yeah, that's hard.
Because like, oh, I'm just here to teach. So it's changing their mindset of, okay, this is what I need to do, and it encompasses all of.
So when you're giving the real ownership of the relationship to the studio, I can imagine some studio owners kind of thinking, but like, is there fear that they're going to have more of a bond to the teacher rather than the studio? How do you feel about that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it comes in the leadership as well. Like if you have that open relationship. I mean, there's some teachers where, you know, I find out that they've contacted a student via social media.
Yeah.
It's like, well, how did that student know that to contact you? How did you know that student was away? And you hit it in the butt straight away. Yeah. We don't encourage this. Please let your student know that you do not monitor or speak to them personally via social media, and everything's done through the head office. So you kind of just, even though it's in the contracts, like they're not going to, remember that. But just little things like that, you have to have that conversation with the teachers straight away if anything like that happens.
Yeah, there are also the boundaries. And
the boundaries,
the clear, but also for you kind of like having the courage to go, come back in.
And that's what Evolution's done. Like, it's given me the confidence to go, you have to have those conversations. Yeah. Because ultimately I'm responsible.
And unless you're concrete on it, then it's hard to reinforce it, right? And it's kind of like, and so what I love about Win Evolution, like our clients like you, it's when they come in, there's a lot of not necessarily this is you, Becca, but a lot of clients come in and things like they want it to be in a way necessarily, but there's less rigidity of kind of like, this is how it's done. And because they're so used to pleasing others and just hoping that they're going to do the right thing. And then we see this little pivot in you. It's like, this is the expectation. This is what happens. And that just takes away all the grey, right? Takes away all the grey.
Yeah,
which
it does.
is really powerful.
And the more you do it, the easier it is as well. So you have to just start and do it. And I think that's what I found really hard was I would always just put it off and go, oh, that'll come out in the meeting. I'll just tell them as a whole. And then it was like, no, I have to tell them individually. Like this needs to be looked at.
So since you've really made team your focus, what has it given you in the business?
I think it's given me a better relationship with the team because I'm there more. Even though I'm not there more, I'm there more.
What do you mean? How?
Like I'm not there physically anymore.
But you're present.
But I'm present. And I have, and I think it's more, quality time with them than being in and out. Hi, bye, in the studio every day.
Well, yeah, because if you're kind of heading into the studio but you're teaching, your head's in kind of in teaching mode as opposed to you're actually able to kind of have, because you're not there as much, but you're coming in as, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. If you were to go back to the Phi, I met you like 7 years ago, around 6-7 years ago, but like, a decade ago, and go back to that Phi, what would you want her to know, knowing what you know now?
That it's possible to have freedom in your business and still have it. Because I would always go, I'm going to close it down this Christmas, because that summer where you have no income for like 6 weeks is always like depressing because there's no income. Your bills are still happening, your fees are still happening, I would not have believed that could all still be running and I don't have to be there.
And you don't have to be there. So you can make, you can make a good money, you can have time with your family, and you can have a thriving business.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Yeah.
And so empowering for others to hear as well, that you can have that freedom and that flexibility.
Yeah. You just need to choose to do it though.
Ain't that the truth,
You need to choose to pull your socks up and push through and don't let yourself get in the way. Yeah.
This woman is so inspiring. This woman over here is so inspiring, and how much you have embraced a love of team and how much that has given you in your life has been just such a joy to watch. Because I think we all think that it's going to be the magic bullet's going to be around attraction and things like that, but it's when it comes down to it, in every studio owner I see come through evolution, and when they have the real transformation of their business, it's because, like you, they've kind of fallen in love with the team side, and they've fallen in love with getting the systems in place for their team, and that's huge. And it's amazing to consider now, like starting the second location, what now is possible, knowing you've got these systems and you're ready to run.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom
Thank you,
your
Chantelle.
beautiful heart and our beautiful Phi. Thank you very much for joining us. And we will be back with you with more cups of tea and more wonderful chats with our beautiful Studio Evolution members very, very soon. I look forward to you joining us then. Bye. Ready to join us? Apply now at studioexpansion.com/evolution apply.